Table Talk with Ted, live from Florida. Yes, Ted Dranias is in Florida right now. Of course, Ted, you're there, first of all, to set up your Petros Fort Lauderdale restaurant opening in the spring, correct?
Yes, sometime in the end of March, April.
All right, so tell our viewers, what's it like in Florida right now? We know in Montreal, everything's locked down, restaurants are closed. What's it like in Florida?
Well, it's perfectly normal here. It's as you guys can see here, I'm a couple of fancy places where I frequent. There's Seasons 52 here in the background, which is pretty well jam-packed, and the terrace outside of both establishments is full. The bars are full. People here waiting for their cars, valet service. Life is normal, unlike Quebec. And you know, this is very sad time because I get so many people and friends in Montreal restaurateurs. I tell you, some guys are bigwigs and telling me that they wanna join me in ventures down here in Florida because they're kind of fed up of being strangled. They kind of say it's like a dictatorship back home, and I'm starting to feel the same way because you know the numbers are there once again. It's not COVID only related. It's their background of hospitals and proper etiquette and proper form wasn't done. So I think he's trying to correct and save himself from blaming, you know, the COVID spread. But what about the other big establishments in Montreal? There's no COVID there. We invested in plexiglass. We got vaccine passports. Meanwhile, he's promoting his drug sales and alcohol sales by implementing the security check that. What do they call it again?
Yeah, the vaccine passport. Yeah.
So what happened to our vaccine passport? Is that the same thing? You know, the guy, I hate to say it, he's a narcissistic type of guy. And I think from what a lot of people tell me, he's a control freak. I know him from his previous years. So if he was the Spartan, he'd look around and proper temperature on the street. And I think the quitting of Dr. Arruda, who's down here in Florida, I think, from what I heard, had a lot to do with his character. I think Dr. Arruda didn't want the restaurants to close, and the premier kind of like squished them. That's the feeling I get. That's my personal feeling. But coming from a lot of people that know him from the circle, you know, he's a very controlling type of guy. Now, you know, I hear people telling me, let's revolt. Like, we don't want it to get ugly. We're democratic. But somehow along the line, how am I going to pay my GST, my PST, my deductions at source from the previous month when I lost the 15 most lucrative days of the year? You tell me how I'm going to pay 7, 11, 12 grand of deductions when this money wasn't even brought in earlier next month because we had zero. Because a lot of people have a lot of their post-party office parties and whatever, you know. So I feel for us all in the industry, and I think maybe our Greek tough guy, Mr. Sergakis, and I'm very disappointed that the Quebec Restaurant Association, I think his name is Mr. Vezina, he's got no clue how to run a restaurant association. He's never walked the talk, you know. I mean, I almost picked up the phone and to speak to them directly because, you know, in the world, if you're not proactive, you're going to disintegrate. What can I tell you? If you guys look around here, it's pouring buckets. I'm telling you, you could even go outside and every establishment is full. Galleria was full. The beaches were full. You know, business as usual. I'm not a very pro DeSantis guy, but I'm very anti Legault. So
Ted, just to wrap up, Legault had a press conference today in Montreal. Everyone expected. Ontario announced the restaurants are going to reopen. Quebec, they're not. Do you think we'll be open by Valentine's Day?
Well, I certainly hope so because there's going to be a lot of red ink. You know, it's like a plane. When there's no runway, the plane won't take off. Same for us. If you're going to tell me on the 28th that we're allowed to open for the 31st, there's something logistically wrong upstairs. You know, how can I bring in inventory? First of all, most of my staff has scrambled to other types.
We're having some audio problems, Ted. I don't think you're in a good Wi-Fi zone there at the Galleria.
Oh, say that again, sorry?
Yeah, your Wi-Fi is not very strong. You're garbling up a little bit, but I think we get the point here. And I think we'll end it at this time, Ted, and we'll continue this talk. We'll continue this talk
Okay.
when you're back in Montreal, but we get the gist. Hopefully Mr.
Yeah,
Legault's
unfortunately, I'm
watching.
back tomorrow.
In the meantime, Ted, I'll conclude by saying Friday night, I'm going to do my takeout at Petros, and the food is great when I bring it home. So let's just keep the takeout and pickup going until we reopen.
Yeah, let's try to stay open.
All right, Ted,
Thank
good
you, Mike.
luck.
Thank you, Mike.
Ted Dranias, everybody.